What's up, everyone? Today we're making a juicy West Coast IPA, and this sounds like a mouthful, but it's an exciting beer, and I'm very excited to brew it. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna brew a beer with Omega's Cosmic Punch yeast. It's a further exploration of this yeast, as well as modern hops and traditional hops, and a blend of those. So it's really a mix of two worlds. We have New England IPA with the hoppiness, big dry hop, Cosmic Punch, as well as West Coast IPA with hopefully some dryness from the water profile, as well as dryness in terms of finishing gravity, and we're going to do a step mash to achieve that. So here's where the recipe is right now. We have 76% two-row, 15% pale ale malt, 5% sugar to really bring that final gravity down, hopefully, and 4% Munich. It's actually Munich too, to bring some of that maltiness and maybe a little bit of color to the beer. For hops, we have 60 IBUs in a boil with the following hops. At 20 minutes, we're going to add 1 ounce of CTZ or Columbus, 0.9 ounces of Simcoe at 15 minutes, and 0.9 ounces of Citra at 10 minutes. So we're really going to add some bitterness in there, not even counting the whirlpool. So that's 59 or 60 right there. And then whirlpool, we're going to add 2 ounces of Talus, which is a fantastic hop that I've been loving to explore. 2 ounces of Citra, 1 ounce Simcoe, and another ounce of CTZ. So that's a total of 6 ounces of hops in the whirlpool, just really to bring that hop saturation up. And then we're going to add a whole bunch more in a dry hop. So as the beer is finishing fermentation, we're going to go with 2 ounces of Talus as a late fermentation add. So we're going to wait till fermentation is just wrapping up, a couple more points. We're going to add 2 ounces of Talus. And then when fermentation finishes, we're going to cold crash the beer to maybe 50 degrees, just so the hops still float, but the yeast drops out. And we're going to add 3 more ounces of Talus, 2 ounces of Simcoe, and 1 ounce of Citra. So that's where we are. And this is a great mix of old school and new school hops, and that's what's really getting me excited about this. The water profile is going to be pretty much West Coast. It's going to be 190 ppm sulfate and 70 ppm calcium chloride. So about 2 to 1 or more than 2 to 1 of sulfate to chloride. And then the rest of the mash chemistry is going to be right here. And that's basically me at the mercy of my water supply here in the Chicago suburbs. That's pretty much it. Let's go brew this up.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we have it. This is West Coast Punch. So the foam and the froth is looking amazing here. It sticks around. It stays there. I think step mash really contributed to that, so loving that part of it. The color kind of isn't what I was going for. I used Pliny the Elder malt bill. It was like 4% Munich 1, 15% Pale Ale malt, and the rest 2-row. And I don't know if I quite achieved that. So first of all, the beer is really hazy. I did 2 rounds of gelatin now, and it's still looking like this. You can still kind of see through it, but A, it's like kind of dark and malty, and B, it's all hazy still. I think it's probably the, whatever, 8-10 ounces of dry hop that went in here. I did try this beer a week ago, and it was tasting pretty interesting. It tasted very young, and I got a lot of coconut in it, kind of like Sabro type vibe, but also like pretty juicy, fruity, and it was tasting really good. It's got a pretty crazy juicy aroma. I'm getting a lot of like gummy bears and nectarines, maybe like a floral note though too, so like not exactly old school floral IPA, but like a fruity floral note. That's really interesting. I like this. Let's go for a taste. Okay, the floral note really translates. It's got somewhat of a dry finish. Also pretty fruity though. Okay, getting more of that sort of gummy bear vibe. It's almost like a juicy pear. It's like a citrus and pear mix, along with like a floral rose bush. I think as you keep drinking this, well, the first sip was super floral, but now the floral notes are going away and you're getting more of that fruit, which is really cool. I mean, it's Talus contributing a lot of that. So Talus is a really interesting hop because I've had beers that have been made with 100% Talus, and it tasted like Dole pineapple juice. One of those Dole cans, those like pineapple chunks, the juice that comes from that, exactly like that. This one's interesting. This one's a little bit more rose bushy. I don't know if it's rose petals or a rose bush, but it tastes pretty good. But along with the fruit notes, like as soon as you open a bag of Talus, the smells are insane. Like out of the bag, it's one of the most intense hops I've ever smelled, and this beer is like clearly representative of it. It's still very fruity, like a New England IPA. I wouldn't call it a West Coast IPA by any means. Nonetheless, it's very good. Just like a New England IPA with a slightly dry finish. That's what I would call this. If I asked myself if I achieved what I was going for, I think so. I think this is like a drier New England IPA. Still very juicy, still very fruity. But I think now that it's summer and it's hot, I'm kind of craving like a true West Coast style IPA with some fruity finish. So maybe I tone down the Talus and the dry hop, and maybe use a little more CTZ and whirlpool. Add some CTZ and the dry hop, and maybe a little more Citra. Just that traditional like citrusy note, and maybe slightly turn down the floral note a little bit. Otherwise, it's going to be a pretty good beer to drink over the summer. I think it's going to start looking better here in a few weeks as it clears up, as it sets in keg, and it's going to become a little brighter. It's going to stay juicy because Cosmic Punch has that ability to just keep beers juicy for a long time, and it's going to be a good one to have on top. Maybe improvements for next time. Probably a little less Talus, although I did like Talus. Otherwise, it's a good beer. Hope you guys get to check it out and brew with Talus over yourselves. Cheers.